Hello and welcome to the second video on this channel. Today we're going to be doing the predictions for RLCS 2025. So for the first one is MIBR. I don't really know what that team is, but it's supposed to be this. They're no longer with this org, so it's just going to be these guys representing themselves, and they're going up against Gen G. I feel like Gen G has this one. I don't know. It's just, I feel like it'll be a close match, but I feel like they have this. This is like, this is kind of to me like a Gen G versus a Secret. They can go either way, but I feel like Gen G, with their loss of a Secret, they'll actually like, you know, reel it back in and actually try, or not try, but you know, be better. So I think that they'll win that one. Next is going to be Rock versus Foot. I think Rock's gonna win this one, honestly. They're pretty talented, to be honest, so I think that they're gonna win that. Let's go look at them real quick, see who's on that roster. Twiz, Abdullah, and Ganzi. They won pretty handily against Al Qadsiya, which everybody was kind of thinking they would win, but yeah, they only dropped 2 games in top 8, so I can see them winning against Foot. Foot hasn't really proven themselves, and a lot of people don't really have them winning against anybody really. So I feel like Foot for sure got that one. Virtus.pro versus Rebellion. I don't really think very highly of Rebellion. I think Complexity should have taken their spot, but obviously this, I'll even give them a 3-0. I don't really think Virtus.pro is that good. But yeah, I don't really think highly of Rebellion at all. It's nothing like bad, it's just I don't think that, I think they would need to replace like someone like Reddles. So you guys are gonna hate me for that, but I'm just speaking what I personally think. Wavy is a great new talent. 2Piece still kind of got it. He could get replaced as well, but if I had to replace either Reddles or 2Piece, I would replace Reddles. Reddles needs kind of like a younger mechanical team where he can be the leader of. That's this kind of team that I feel like he belongs to, but it is what it is. Ninjas in Pajamas, this should be a 3-0. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's see, this is Nas, Radosin, and Nas, Radosin, and Oski. Yeah. And then TSM, well, they're kind of up there with Foot. Nobody really expects them to be as far. Gen G versus Rock. Yeah, this is Gen G. I'll give them 2. I'll make it a close match. And then Rebellion versus Ninjas. This is going to be Ninjas, so I'll do a 3-1 here. And then the lowers for the play-ins. Yeah, I give this one to Razebull and them. 3-1 even. TSM versus Virtus.pro. I'm pretty sure they played each other in EWC, I believe. I'm not sure if they actually did or not, but hold on a second. Let's do this. Trending EWC. Did they play together or play against each other? They did. All right, so Foot won that one. Oh no, it was I think Virtus.pro can beat TSM because TSM didn't really make it as far, but Virtus.pro somewhat put up a challenge. I don't know. I'll give it to Foot. I think Foot are the better team between those two. I don't know. I feel like TSM can also swing pretty hard. Yeah, I'll just give it to, I'll give it to Virtus.pro for now. I'll make it close. And then Rebellion versus Razebull's team. I'll give it to Shopify. 3-2. Ooh, not 3-12. 3-2. Rock versus Virtus. This is Rock. And there you go. You have Gen G qualifying, Ninjas Pajamas qualifying, Rebellion qualifying, and then Rock qualifying. I honestly think that's pretty fair. The only other team that you could switch in is Razebull's team with Rock or Rebellion, or maybe even this. This team is basically guaranteed to get in. And then the other 3 spots is kind of limited, but you know. So this was the play-ins. So let's get to the actual main event. So this is where we need to think a little bit more. There are harder teams and all that. Oh, this is crazy. Common Court versus Rock. I'll give it a 3-1. GK versus Ultimates. They just recently played in the EWC. and GK took it. But despite that, and they even went on to make a second place, right? Yeah, they did. They beat Vitality and Dig. Yeah, I'll have to give it to GK again. I'll make it close this time though, because I feel like Ultimates are gonna prep for them now knowing that they're gonna be playing them top 16. So Dignitas versus Gen G, I think they have played, and I'll give that a 3-0. Furia versus Wildcard 3-1. Yeah, Wildcard is good. In the first major, they took a very strong, well, not a very strong Karmine Corp, but at the time Karmine Corp was basically the unanimous #1, and it took them to a game 5 first round. So I feel like they can do something, but I feel like other teams are kind of adjusted to them, so I don't really see them getting as far. Yeah, let's also do lower bracket. Rock versus Ultimates. Ultimates should be able to have this. I'll do a 3-1. Wildcard versus Gen G. I'll have Gen G for that one, but it'll be pretty close. Karmine Corp versus GK. GK is one of the teams that can beat Karmine Corp, but Karmine Corp are actually looking really strong, beating out a Falcons, who everybody is saying is either #1 or 2. So I feel like Karmine Corp can take that one. I'll make it close. Dignitas versus G. I don't see Dignitas really losing to any other teams besides Karmine Corp. That's really the only team I can see them losing to, and Falcons. Falcons kind of own those guys. Fury versus Ultimates. I don't think Ultimates have lost to Furia. They did take them out 3-0, so I'll make it 3-1 this time. Gen G versus GK. This is gonna be a GK. I'll make it a 3-1. So this is Group A done right here. Let's go to Group B. Falcons versus Rebellion. Let's see. I'll make that a, yeah, I feel like this was a 3-0 actually. Vitality versus Space Station. This has already happened. It was a smooth sound 3-0, so I'll also make that I'll make it a 3-1. I feel like they can get a game, maybe because of the frustration and what happened. The score was like what, 16-2, but that's because they gave up. And then 8-2. So they're not very close, but I feel like they're gonna prep us specifically for this team, so I feel like they can get at least a game off of them. I don't feel like it'll be quite the shutout, but it very well could be. NRG versus Ninjas in Pajamas. I can see NRG winning this one. It'll be close though. Twisted versus Secret. Ooh, I'll get this as Twisted Minds. Let's see, in lowers we have Rebellion versus Space Station. I see Space Station winning that in 3-2. Game 5. Ninjas versus Secret. This is Ninjas. Falcons versus Vitality. Vitality were looking very strong, but they've already played, and Falcons did win that 4-3. So I'll do 4-1. I feel like Falcons are gonna come out swinging because they really want to win it all. So I'll see. Never mind. I'll do a 3-2. To be honest. Let's see. NRG versus Twisted. This has already happened multiple times. I don't think Twisted have won against NRG yet, so I'll give them a 3-1. Let's see. Space Station versus Twisted. Ooh, this matchup did happen and Space Station won, which surprised me. So I'll say they can do it again, and I'll give them the same scoreline. It was a 3-1 Space Station. I was very surprised by this, but it shows that they kind of, you know, they're stepping up. And then Vitality versus Ninjas. Vitality should be able to handle this. I'm not sure if Verdosen is really gonna make that big of a change on Ninjas Pajamas, but you know, it is what it is. That being said, here is our top 8. Karmine Corp versus NRG. That's crazy. Last time that they played, it was a 3-2 to K Corp. Let's say it's 4-3. Falcons versus Dignitas. That's going to be a 4-1. Ultimates versus Vitality. Ultimates actually do pretty well against Vitality, so I'll say it's a 4-2 here. Space Station versus GK. I'll do 4-3. So with my lineup, we have 3 NA, 3 EU, and then do I have all 4? hold on. Dignitas, Vitality, GK, and KO. Oh, so I have all 4. EU making top 8, 3 NA making it, and then I have a Falcons. Honestly, that's not bad. I'm not upset about that. And then let's see here. Dignitas versus NRG versus Ultimates. I'll give that to NRG. Those two do go interchangeably, and the last time that they were here, Ultimates were able to take it, but NRG could have very well taken it. It's just that one mistake. NRG needs to learn how to shoot. Atomic is the best shooter in the game. I stand by that. He's the best shooter in the game. This guy will slot anything. No fancy mechanics, no nothing. He just slots it and it goes in. But for some reason, Beast Mode can't shoot, Daniel can't shoot, and now even Atomic can't shoot. They love the crossbar. It's so crazy. If they honestly fixed that and they're pacing a little bit to match whatever team they're playing, I genuinely feel like they could win it all. But for some reason, they're not doing that. They're playing a bit more methodical now, which isn't working on some teams. So I also feel like they need to finish work on that. But otherwise, they're good. I just don't know why that this is what they're doing. It's kind of hindering them, but you know, whatever. Dignitas versus GK. If I want to go off of recency bias, we'll give it to GK, but I feel like Dignitas will actually win this one. I'll give it a 4-2. Falcons versus NRG. NRG is actually, this is like a kind of close matchup between these two teams. They kind of go interchangeably, but I feel like this is NRG's time to actually step up and beat them. So I'll do a very close match. And then, you know what? I'll give this to Dignitas. In all honesty, I'll give this to Dignitas. Some of you guys aren't going to agree with me, but that's just genuinely what I feel. And then it comes down to NRG versus Dignitas. I don't know if those two teams have ever faced off against each other in any time, any tournament. Let's do a head-to-head, like recency. NRG esports. Oh, they're just NRG. Okay. So let's run this. So this is 2024. Okay, so they haven't. This is with Arsenal. This is Arsenal, and this was Arsenal, Evil, Stizzy, and Gyro. So far, since the new iteration of Dignitas, they haven't played. And I feel like NRG will have this shortly, right? Surely they don't sell this against. I'll make it very close though, you know. Like it says 4-2, but I feel like it'll be very close and NRG is gonna win by like a goal or two. So that's crazy that Dignitas and NRG haven't played though. What the heck? And before it was just, but yeah, this is what I have. Let's zoom this out. Let's go back and see where, if anything, I feel like I've messed up on. Dignitas to Rock, yeah, Karmic Corp wins that. They win against GK. GK versus Ultimates, I'll give that to GK because of recency bias. Dignitas versus Gen G, that's a 3-0. Fury versus Wildcard, that's a 3-1. Rock versus Ultimates, Ultimates should be able to get that. Gen G should be able to beat Wildcard. I put it pretty close as well. Yeah, I feel that this one could maybe be an upset here, and it could be Dignitas not qualing, but I doubt it. I feel like they're good enough to beat Furia. And then again, because of either recency bias or whatever, I feel like Ultimates should be able to win this game. Again, this could also be an upset, and it could be Furia instead of Ultimates. And then GK should be able to handle them. I don't really see this being an upset, but it very well could be. Falcons should be able to handle this. Same here. Maybe this could be an upset. I'm not quite sure, but I don't really see it being an upset. Twisted versus Secret. Yeah, this stays. Space Station should be able to beat out Rebellion. Ninja should be able to Secret. Falcons, this can maybe switch, but I doubt Falcons don't get through. I don't really see them going through the lowers either. I feel like they'll have this. If they do, then they'll have to take on Ninjas of Pajamas. So either way, they would both qualify. The only difference is where they would be placed in top 8. Let's see. But yeah, I'm gonna stick on this. This looks good. This looks good. Yeah, this looks good. This could also be different. I feel like Twisted Minds could definitely beat Space Station, but again, I'll go off of recency bias. It's even crazy because after they got beat by Vitality, you think that their mental would have been very bad, but they somehow bounced back and made it through. So I'll give it to Space Station. Karman Corp beats NRG. This could also be interchangeable. Falcons, I don't see Falcons losing the Dignitas, even if they do prepare for them. And then Ultimates, yeah, I can see them. This could also change because Vitality has been on a roll, so maybe that could change here and they could go through instead of Ultimates. This could also change. A lot of these matches could very well change, but like this could definitely change. It could be Karman Corp instead of Dignitas, but I feel like Dignitas will be able to get the job done. So I'll give that to them. And then I feel like Energy is a better matchup for Dignitas, and then they would be able to win it. So as long as Energy does not play Vitality, they should be able to have it all. I feel like this is Atomic season to win it. Yeah, I'm proud of this. I like it. And even looking at this from a standpoint, I agree. Yep. Yeah, honestly, I like this. And obviously the winner could be basically 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's 5 potential teams that could win it. I just have Energy winning right now. Though if they're unprepared and they're not really on their best, then I can see any other team winning it. And then as for the 1v1, it's gonna be Moxie versus Nupo. I have Moxie winning this 4-3. Moxie is your world 1v1 champion. Yeah, this was still crazy to watch though, bro. I genuinely think I thought it would have been like a 4-3 or something, that Diaz would have put up a bigger fight. I had went to the Raleigh thing because I live in Raleigh. I actually live like 5 minutes from the Livonia Center. That's the only reason why I went. It was crazy. But yeah, all right, that's gonna be doing it for this video. Hope my predictions come true, or at least, you know, a lot of it come true. But yeah, that'll do it. See you guys later. Have a blessed day or night, and goodbye. Goodbye.